57,852. We finished November. Thank God we finished November at about that level. Thank God that November is now behind us. And now we're in for a new month because today is the 1st of December and it is a new month, and a new month means new opportunities and new narratives. So today we are going to be looking at what we can expect for the month of December. What are the hottest narratives going to be and where we should be placing our bets to finish this year off strong. It is going to be a big show. So let's get the show on the road. Banter fam, welcome back. Look at this. There are now over 500,000 people in the Banter fam. That is what we've managed to do in 10 months. In 10 months, we've managed to build up the most loyal crypto community in the world. We have 500,000 loyal members in the Banter fam. Guys, I think we need to take 1 minute to just acknowledge what we've managed to pull off here in 10 months. 10 months. Yeah. The fastest growing crypto channel in the world, the most loyal crypto community in the world. Yeah. That is you guys. And because of your loyalty, even though I am sick as a dog, I'm sitting here literally sipping on tea. I'm literally sipping on tea and honey to get through the show. And we've got another show later today. Can you believe it? We still have one more show later today for you guys. Remember in the game with Hustle. Well, we have a massive announcement which we're going to make on the channel tonight. So tune in for In the Game. It's going to be on in a couple of hours. Follow my Twitter at CryptoManRun if you want details about what's going on within the game. And there's a massive announcement. There's really a big announcement coming out today. Also remember that today, because we have hit 500,000 subscribers. If we get 7,500 likes, I am going to start giving away some MonkeyBall. I'm going to just start MonkeyBall. And you want to be getting MonkeyBall because I picked up a little announcement, just a little announcement. And the little announcement says, we are monkey humbled to announce the backing and support of the top crypto giant at SBF FTX and Alameda Research, which means their support and long-term goals cementing us as the play-to-earn esports game of the metaverse, right? That means that we can expect FTX listing. Launching on StarLaunch, expect FTX listing. In fact, I want to show you something else. Hold on, I saw something else today. Wow. Very good. It's going to be very big, Okay, so remember, if you want MonkeyBall, you got to get it on StarLaunch. I picked up something. I wonder if I can find it. Okay, here we go. There is a mystery IDO happening on StarLaunch on the 12th of the 12th. It's a mystery IDO. They're not telling you what the IDO is on the 12th of the 12th. Okay, so now listen carefully, guys. I know what the IDO is. I spoke to the team yesterday. It's unbelievable. In fact, it's so unbelievable that I'm questioning myself now whether I should use the hydrazine, because you got to stake your StarLaunch token to get hydrazine. When you get the hydrazine, you then got to burn your hydrazine to get into the IDOs. This mystery IDO is so big that I'm actually even thinking of maybe not using some of my StarLaunch for MonkeyBall to get into this mystery IDO. That's how big it is. That's how big it is. So yeah, you guys make your own decisions. Anyway, regardless of that, I will be giving away MonkeyBall here on the show today when we get to 7,000 likes. Let's get the show on the road. Thank God that November's behind us. And remember, just remember that if you are new to our channel, just subscribe to our channel. Join the 500,303 people on our channel. Join us on this journey through crypto with the most loyal crypto community in the world. Sorry, I'm just switching off my email because my email is making strange noises. It's as if people don't know that I'm live. Okay, now everyone knows that I'm live. All right, so join our channel, like our content. Let's get this content out there. Let's get people watching the show. We've got a big show for you today, and we're going to start off with thank God that November's finished, the end of November. Thank God that November is gone. We were doing okay in November until stock market. Because remember, when the stock market starts coming down, then we've got a big problem. Crypto cannot withstand a stock market attack. And what happened the last couple of days, if you remember, on Friday last week, we had the COVID scares. So this new variant of COVID scares, which took the market down. And as if that wasn't enough, yesterday, Powell comes out with his big mouth and starts telling us that there is finally inflation and that the Fed actually has to start tapering. What that means is that the Fed is going to stop supporting the economy as much. And so now we're kind of looking at the stock market, even though it looks like there's some kind of calm on the stock market today. I guess the big question we need to be asking ourselves is, has the stock market broken through some big support level? Has the stock market, the US stock market, broken through a massive trend line? Because if it has, and it continues to go down, then no matter how good crypto is, it cannot survive a stock market collapse. And so what I thought I would do today is get our friend Gareth Soloway back on the line. He hasn't been here for a while. Let's get Gareth on the line and see whether the stock markets are breaking this long-term trend that he's been following since the beginning of COVID. Gareth, welcome back, my friend.
Hey, Ran, how are you? How's it going?
You got your monitors behind you. This is all good. This is all amazing. You're back in the
movie. And by the way, admirable you're there and you're sick. I hope you do feel better fast, man. That is no fun.
Can't let down 500,000 people, Gareth.
Yeah, that's true. That is a lot of people.
You know, Gareth, we are today the biggest crypto channel in the world. We get the most views out of any crypto channel in the world. Not only that, we have the most loyal crypto community in the world. So and we've done this in 10 months.
It's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Absolutely amazing.
And a massive announcement coming out tonight about how our channel is about to explode. Make sure that you watch In the Game if you want to find out what the announcement is. Gareth, the reason why I thought of you, and I know that you've got limited time with us, is because I know you've been tracking that trend line, that one single trend line that shows you where the Dow Jones or where the US market has been since the beginning of COVID. Mm-hmm. Have we broken that trend down? Is there something bigger to worry about?
Luckily not yet. So here, let's take a look at the S&P 500 here. So this is the channel you've been in, and this is a standard up channel in the S&P 500. And notice how, again, over here you came there, then you pulled back, then you came up to the top here. So you're still inside of this range. So as a crypto investor, you're absolutely right. The stock market does play a role because there's deleveraging that bleeds through into different markets, including even in gold and cryptocurrencies from the stock market when you have big falls in the stock market. And then also you have to remember the fear, right? People tend to sell on emotion versus thinking about logic, right? So long-term, logically, crypto is golden, it's awesome. But in the short term, when people panic, they say, all right, I just got to exit and reevaluate. But the nice thing about the chart here is that you're still stuck within this uptrend. As long as this lower level here, this lower trend line does not break, then I think you're still in that uptrend. You can still say, okay, the market is okay. Crypto should generally be okay. Now, if this line breaks, that's where you would get concerned. That means the uptrend has officially broken, and then you could see bigger downside on the stock market, which would bleed into cryptocurrency.
Okay, but you're looking at it on the S&P 500. When I take a view of the Dow Jones, and I want to show you what the Dow Jones looks like relative to the S&P 500, that's the Dow Jones. I mean, I'm not a genius, but that to me looks like a trend may be broken. Maybe you've got a better representation of it that shows us that the longer term trend on the Dow hasn't been broken yet.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I haven't looked at the Dow. Now, one of the reasons why I don't follow the Dow too closely, it's only 30 stocks. So like if one stock in the Dow really does poorly, it can really affect it. But let's take a look at this here. If you take a look here, you can actually see that the Dow broke this level a long time ago here to the downside. So you've actually been trading below this level for quite some time. And you're right, that is concerning on the Dow. You do have another trend line here that I would follow, which would be right here. So you can see how this low here connects right through this area. That's around 337.90 on the DIA, which is the ETF that tracks the Dow. That would be the one spot you would not want to see broken or violated on the Dow itself.
What did you make of Powell's comments yesterday that inflation is no longer transitory and that it's much more out of hand than they thought? He did cover up afterwards, and he did say that it depends how you define transitory. We define transitory as anything that is not permanent in nature and doesn't settle permanently in nature. What do you make of his comments, and finally admitting that inflation is completely out of control?
I mean, it was a kind of a facepalm for me like this because, for the last 6 to 12 months, I've been saying it wasn't going to be transitory, and now he's finally admitting it. Again, it's when you have labor costs skyrocketing like this, businesses can't push all that rise in labor costs through immediately. So they're going to do it over the course of years. Prices will continue to go up. So I think, again, he's finally coming around to it, which means he has to be more hawkish, raise interest rates a little bit quicker maybe. Now, the big question is how high can interest rates go? Because with the U.S. with $30 trillion in debt, if you raise interest rates too much, the U.S. goes bankrupt. So, I mean, it's going to be a fine line here. I think interest rates on the 10-year go to maybe 2%, 2.25%, but I don't think they'll go higher than that.
All right, let's get to the question of the day, and that's Bitcoin. The last time you came on the show, you were quite bearish about Bitcoin. You were looking to buy it at around, was it 20,000? What was Gareth?
That was
you were looking to buy it at 20,000. It never went anywhere near that. I guess you missed the buy. I guess you completely missed the buy. Did you ladder it on the way up? Are you looking for an entry now? Where do you see the Bitcoin chart and how are you playing this?
Yeah, so good question. And yeah, so basically the thesis for 20,000 is that you get a major deleveraging event in the stock market that bleeds through to crypto. And I still think that's a possibility. I just honestly don't have a timeline on it. It's whenever the stock market really drops 20, 30, 40%, then I would be concerned with crypto in the short term. Long term, I continue to think 500,000 is your long-term target. Now, for me, I was very close to buying it as a swing trade recently. I bought Polkadot. We made some good money on Polkadot here, but the level to buy Bitcoin was this level and then connecting this one. Notice how these two lines converge. All right. So this was your buy level. It missed by, literally a few $100s on Bitcoin from me getting to buy it. It was just a short-term trade. So again, I don't necessarily think we're going to new all-time highs, even though there's a lot of bullish sentiment out there. So again, next wave down, I'll be looking around the 50,000 level to swing it as a quick bounce level. And then eventually, I do think it's eventually going to come lower as I do think deleveraging in the market continues.
I see higher high and higher high there. I mean, higher low and another higher low. That's what I see. When you draw that trend line, I see a higher low and then I see another higher low. And I see a very strong upward trend. I mean, I see higher highs and I see higher low along the whole way. What's making you think that Bitcoin's going to go back down to around 50,000?
So a couple things that have me concerned. So on the way up, even when we got above the April highs, the volume was not surging, right? You didn't see a ton of volume, which told you that big players were not buying. The other thing is when you got above 65,000, why didn't it break out? I mean, you had $100,000 targets being called here for October, then November, then December. So why did it sell back down? And the only answer I could come up with is that there has to be some sort of bigger players unloading into this level, because the sentiment among small investors was just buy with all hands on deck, right? So if it couldn't break out there with that sentiment, then there had to be some bigger players unloading there. So I'm just kind of being a little cautious here. It's a higher high. You can see the April high here and the October, November kind of highs up here. But at the same time, you could look back at this and say that was a double top. And again, that's what I'm kind of dealing with right now is what's going on here? What's the deal here? Why hasn't this had a bigger breakout above 65,000 at this point?
It's a higher high. It's not a double top. I can see. It's a higher high. There's no double top.
But it failed. But
no double top.
It did fail at this point. Now, maybe it shows us that it can get above and then continue up and then it recaptures it. But right now, you would say that was a failed breakout, right?
Gareth, I think that you may be missing, I wanted to get you into Bitcoin at like 28,000 and you're waiting for 20,000. And I said to you, Gareth, please get into Bitcoin. I think you would have doubled your money by now.
Well, listen, I bought at 30,000 and I rode it to about 45. So that was my trade there. And then I've gone back into that cautious mode where I still think you're going to get down there. But remember, I'm a swing trader. So in between, maybe eventually I load the boat and literally load the boat at 20,000. But in between, I'm going to be buying and selling support and resistance all the way around. I just launched a new service and that's what we're doing in that service. And I just want to continue to make sure that people understand that in between, there's lots of trading opportunities.
All righty, Gareth, thank you, my friend. I know you're short on time today. Thanks for giving us the update, my friend. See you soon.
See you soon, Rand. Feel better, buddy.
Ciao, buddy. All right, that's Gareth Soloway. So, yeah, he is catching them on the ups and downs. Bitcoin is made for holding. It's not made for trading. I've never met a trader make more money than an investor in Bitcoin. I really hope that you guys are holding your Bitcoin and not trading your Bitcoin through the ups and through the downs. Now, let's get back to it. So we just finished the month of November. Breathe out. Thank God that month of November is gone. It wasn't the best month in the world. I mean, if you look at the statistics for November, we closed the month on negative 7%. So that is what the history.
It wasn't like October.
It wasn't like October. See, October we closed at plus 40%. And we're now entering into December. Before we enter into December, we had plan B, tap out. And basically, he handed over the reins to me. You saw that, right? He handed over, I'm now plan C. So what happened here was, what happened was plan B. I was prepared for this. And you can see, I took over. It is plan C, taking over from plan B after failed November predictions. And we use different models to him, but our models seem to be a little bit more accurate. He says, the floor model first miss after nailing August, September, and October. No model is perfect. But this is a big miss, and for the first time in 10 years. Can you imagine? The model's been accurate for 10 years. Is this an outlier or swan event? I'll give the floor model one more month. So what he is saying, if we do not get to $135,000 in the next 30 days, he's saying, if we don't get to $135,000 in the next 30 days, he is abandoning the floor model. Can you imagine after 10 years having to abandon this model, being right for 10 years? He's abandoning it after 1 month. I always said Dutch people don't have compassion. You can't, after 1 month, dump the whole model. One miss.
Or conviction.
I don't know. You can't, anyway. So he's finally admitted that he tapped out and that there was, it's a black swan event potentially. But he came in today and he said, look, stock to flow model on track since March 2019. And he's showing that it is within the blue. In other words, within one standard deviation. So he's still aiming for that 100K mark in December. So plan B is still bullish as hell for December. He's kind of saying, look, Bitcoin's either going to go from 60,000 to 135 or from 60,000 to 100,000 in December. If that doesn't happen, then he's basically two of his models are going to be invalidated, and then it's over to me. Basically, formally, it's all about plan C. So, I mean, look, it's a lot of responsibility to have on my shoulders. If plan B doesn't deliver, I've got a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. Can't even think about that. Actually, in a way, I really wish that his model actually delivers. Exactly. So that is plan B. And right now, what we're seeing a pattern that is very, very similar to 2017. If you remember what happened in 2017, it was actually altcoins that led us into the run in December. It wasn't Bitcoin. And we're seeing something very similar happen right here. So what we're seeing is quite interesting. We're seeing dominance at 41.64. We've had a little two green candles, but ultimately we're still under 42 for dominance. And then we're seeing the ETH BTC chart that Sheldon has been talking about. I can talk about it because he's not here now. Sheldon's gone home. So I can talk about it quite freely. But what you're seeing is a 2017 type of scenario where ETH and altcoins are leading us into December. And it's quite an aggressive run into December. If you look at the pace at which the dominance has fallen, you look from let's go from here. You're talking dominance has gone from 45 about 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago, from 45 all the way, and it's been as low as 41 or just under 41. So we are heading into December with a lot of momentum, and we are heading into December with momentum on altcoins. And the question is whether we're going to have another big December. Last year in December, we did 47%. And traditionally, December is a really, really, really strong month for crypto and for Bitcoin. Raoul Paul, he says that he's actually expecting a sell-off in December because of people having to pay their taxes. So realizing tax losses or income tax returns before December. So no matter which way you look at it, December is going to be a big month for crypto. And if it's going to be a big month for crypto, if you can read and understand the narratives that are going to be hot in December, then you are going to make more money than anybody else. You need to be able to understand the narrative. So I thought what we would do today is narratives. Exactly. Let's just do some narratives. Let's look at which narratives are going to be hot in December. And let's look at how to place bets in December according to these narratives. That's basically what we want to be doing. So let's look at the narratives. What are going to be the big narratives in December? I'm going to give you what, 5? How many narratives should we do today? 5? Let's do 5. We'll do 5. 5 narratives. 5 narratives for December. Can't be laughing here, bro. This is a studio. It's going to be quiet. Okay, so let's go. We're going to do 5 narratives that are going to be hot in December. I want to start off with a narrative which I think is going to be, there's going to be a lot of talk about this narrative in December. It's a narrative which is going to affect the stock market, and then it's going to affect the crypto market. So you got to pay attention to this narrative in December. This narrative is this narrative right over here. So look at this narrative.
How long does inflation have to run above your target before the Fed decides maybe it's not so transitory?
Well, first of all, the test that we've articulated, I think, clearly has been met now. You're absolutely right. Inflation has run well above 2% for long enough that if you look back a few years, inflation averages 2%. So I think we can say that is taken. It was not the case going into this episode. It had been many years since we had inflation at 2%. So I think the word transitory has different meanings to different people. To many, it carries a sense of short-lived. We tend to use it to mean that it won't leave a permanent mark in the form of higher inflation. I think it's probably a good time to retire that word and try to explain more clearly what we mean.
So finally, Jerome Powell admits that inflation is not transitory. And he went as far as to say that they define transitory as something that won't be permanent. I want to ask you something. If we have inflation and we have, say, 20% inflation, so you have no inflation and you have 20% inflation, your new base is 1.2. And if you start going back to 2% inflation after your 20% inflation, what you're getting is you're getting 2% above the 1.2. The damage that this has caused is permanent in nature. And don't let anybody fool you by telling you that it's not. It's completely permanent in nature. There is no way that it's transitory. Maybe he means that we're not going to continue to see 20% inflation every year, which is obvious. Obviously, you're not going to get 20% inflation every single year. He did say, however, that it's time for the Fed to start thinking about tapering. And if the Fed starts thinking about tapering, it means that there's going to be a cool-off in the economy. My theory remains as follows. I think that the Fed is starting to talk down the markets because the markets are too hot and the markets themselves are creating inflation. And this whole narrative of a new variant slowing down the economy and the Fed starting to ease, I think they need to cool down this economy, because if they don't cool down this economy, they're going to get a huge inflation, and the inflation is going to continue and continue and continue. But yesterday, for the first time, Jerome Powell actually admitted that there is an inflation problem and that it's not transitory anymore. All right, so that's the first narrative. We've got to keep our eyes on that narrative. If the inflation narrative continues, Bitcoin comes into its own, but the markets will slow down. And then the question is whether Bitcoin can carry up the crypto markets or whether the crypto markets go down with all other risky assets. That's really our first narrative. Next narrative for December, big narrative for December. Tell you what it is. It's tissues. Colombian flu is the narrative, okay? So Colombian flu, huge narrative for December. Massive narrative for December, massive. Usually it's Fred, this time it's not Fred, somebody else.
Especially in summer.
Yeah, it's a big narrative to get Colombian flu in summer, right? Who gets Colombian flu in summer? Crazy. All right, the next narrative for December is one that we haven't spoken about for a while. We haven't spoken about this narrative for about 2 weeks now, and that is the narrative of it's the narrative of Solana. And there's something amazing happening in Solana right now. Something absolutely, absolutely insane is going on in Solana right now. And I feel that if I don't show you this, then you may not know that it's going on. And you have to understand what is going on in Solana. Something that hasn't happened, I think, ever for Solana. Something that I didn't think would happen ever for Solana. And it just happened for Solana. And it's not, I mean, it's not only about the vanity metrics, but there's some other metrics that have triggered to make Solana, to create a Solana narrative for December. One which you have to pay attention to. Because remember what happened was the bees were all over Solana. Then the bees left and they went to Avalanche. Then the bees left Avalanche, they went to Phantom. Then they went back to Avalanche. Then the bees are now flying to Luna. But some of the smart bees are actually starting to do a U-turn and go back towards Solana. And I'll tell you why they're starting to go back towards Solana. Because there is a magical combination of things that is happening on Solana right now that I don't think everyone's seeing, because everyone's looking at them in little silos. And I'm going to put them all together for you to show you what is happening on Solana right now. So the first thing is we start off with the metrics and we say the price is going up, cool. The total transactions on the blockchain, on the Solana blockchain, have actually absolutely exploded. Have a look at that. That is the total transactions on the Solana platform. 40 billion. Ethereum did 1.36 billion. Okay, 40 billion. Okay, now look here. So you have a lot of transactions on Solana. The active addresses on Solana is twice the number of active addresses that are happening on Ethereum. What does this mean? It means that even though in total more addresses have been opened on Ethereum, because Ethereum has been around for longer, it means that there are more people actively using Solana addresses every single day. Why is that happening? Because the transaction fees are cheap and people can actually afford to use Solana every single day and mint NFTs and do DeFi on Solana. So you're getting this surge in addresses, daily active addresses. And in fact, Solana has 1.5 million daily active addresses versus Ethereum's 750,000 daily active addresses. Then, developer activity. I caught onto this tweet, and I want to talk about this tweet later on, but the vast majority of teams that I meet are building on Solana, AVAX, and Stockware Limited. Now, we don't talk much about Stockware Limited. We're going to start talking about Stockware Limited today. If you look at the developer statistics on Solana, that is the developer statistics. And you can see that the developer activity on Solana has eclipsed Ethereum and is growing parabolically. Okay, so that is, we've spoken about this. This should not be news to you guys. You need to invest where the developers are building cool shit. And while we haven't been looking, there have been 500 active projects being built on Solana. Okay, here they are. Okay, that's on Coin98. I didn't make the summary. There are 500 active projects on the Solana blockchain. I think that what is happening here today is that Solana is about to eclipse Ethereum. I think Solana becomes the new Ethereum much quicker than we actually imagine. But that's not the indicator that I wanted to talk to you about. It's not about the developer activity or the 500 projects built on Solana. or the fact that Kyle Davies, no one knows who Kyle Davies actually is. He is a co-founder at 3 Arrows Capital. You should follow him. Let me follow him too. You should follow him because he knows what he's talking about. Now, you have the developer ecosystem of Solana exploding. And then you have a new metric for Solana, which has absolutely exploded. It crushed Cardano, okay? Solana just crushed Cardano on this metric. Now, up until now, Cardano's had the most loyal developers in the world, right? Sorry, the most loyal community in the world. It's a fact that the Cardano army is so loyal to Cardano that they hold onto their tokens, that they follow, despite the fact that there's no DEXs and no smart contracts. The Cardano developers are extremely loyal. And there is one metric, a single metric, where Cardano has always held up a flag and said, you can beat us on smart contracts. You can beat us on anything else. But you cannot beat us on this one metric. Do you know what that metric is? No one here knows. No one. 3 producers, no one knows. Look how blank they all look. 3 producers. No one knows. No one.
Look, I can tell you.
Do you know?
Am I a producer? No, I don't know. I'm busy watching the show to learn.
You got to learn. So there is one metric that Cardano has always held up high and said, we don't need smart contracts. We don't need DEXs. We don't need dApps. We just need one metric. I'll tell you what they need. That metric was the total amount of crypto staked. And Cardano was always the blockchain that said that 70% of our total supply is staked, and we are the number one. Solana says, hold my beer, hold my tea. Puts a tea down and says, let me show you. We have 77% of our total supply staked at the moment. And so this magical combination of developers building on an ecosystem yields on DeFi, total transactions, total value locked on DeFi, and now confidence from the Solana holders to lock up their Solana in staking pools shows that the Solana ecosystem is experiencing something that I haven't seen for a long, long, long time. In fact, I don't think I've seen this since Ethereum. And since I think that the technology behind Solana is better than the technology behind Ethereum, I think in time Solana decentralizes itself and Solana becomes the most dominant blockchain. Tweet stamp this, 1 December 2021, Run said on the day when we had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, Run said Solana was going to be the biggest narrative and the biggest blockchain after Bitcoin. Tweet stamped, done. Okay, let's go, next one. Oh, Sheldon will like this one. You'll like this one.
Bitcoin's breaking trend, buddy.
Share the chart. Let's
I only got one screen here, so let me share. I just popped on quick just in case it does something crazy. There we go, buddy. Have a look.
Oh. So now what we need is we need a closeout. We need the daily closeout to close above trend.
Yeah, exactly. So a close over 59 will be great. This is it, buddy. I'm telling you, let's wait and see. But we've been waiting for breakouts. I see Bitcoin over 60K.
Look at the guys. Just hold on a second. Look at the breakout relative to Sheldon's drawing, which he made like 3 days ago. I mean, it's like he couldn't have drawn it better. Impossible to draw it better.
We're just catching rhythm, brother. It's time for Plan C to take over. So we have to do the correct job.
All right, Tentino. So this next narrative you're actually really going to like, and that is the next narrative that I think is going to be hot for December is the ETH narrative. Believe it or not, I do believe that the ETH narrative is going to be hot. But I don't think it's what everybody thinks, right? So everybody's talking about the ETH narrative. And I mean, Lark said, will ETH go to 5 digits during this bull market? We could even see $20,000 or more in play. I believe that Lark actually may be right, funny enough, but not for the reasons that he thinks he's right. So he's talking about this massive breakout that Sheldon showed, where the ETH BTC chart broke out, and we agree that this ETH BTC chart continues to run. Okay, and the ETH coming off the exchanges. Look at this hot as fuck chart. ETH continues to fall on exchanges. Great. Lots of ETH locked in DeFi. Lots of ETH. 9.7 million ETH are locked in layer 1 DeFi. 8.5 million ETH are locked up in smart contract 2 staking, ETH 2.0 staking. ETH burning is absolutely going insane, and that you can go and look at, you can go and watch the burn if you want, and you can go and see how ETH burning is going. This is what everybody's thinking, that there is an ETH narrative that's happening right now. That is what every other person is talking about, and every other channel is talking about. I'm going to show you where the real narrative is. The real explosion, the real narrative is actually not on ETH. The only reason why ETH is benefiting is because most institutions can buy ETH, can store ETH, and believe that there is enough liquidity in ETH. But when they are buying into ETH, what they want to buy into is they're buying into ETH layer 2. It's not about ETH layer 1. It's about ETH layer 2. Ethereum is becoming a settlement layer for the layer 2s. And as these layer 1s, these blockchains gain traction and gain momentum, it's the layer 2s on Ethereum which are battling it out to be the best layer 2. And ultimately, that is what's pushing Ethereum up. And so Lark talks about it, Jay. He says, ETH layer 2s are starting to really take off. This is where the tweet becomes really smart. Arbitrum has 2.7 billion total value locked in DeFi. Vitalik's talking about shards. There's the merge, blah, 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 blah. And there are Ethereum ETF futures going for layer 2. Institutional interest is rising. That's what I said to you guys. It's institutional interest saying, we believe we can buy ETH, we believe we can store ETH, and we believe that there is enough liquidity in ETH, therefore we can load our bags. And now Cathie Wood is buying Ethereum. Okay, so that is what everybody thinks. But the real battle is actually something that I've been talking to you guys about for a while now, and that is ETH layer 2. So let's look at ETH layer 2. There is a battle in Ethereum to be the biggest layer 2. And for me, the narrative that is hot here in December is actually not ETH layer 1. What are you guys laughing at? What are you guys laughing at? Hold on.
Come on, you.
Luke, share it. Tell the guys what you're laughing at.
I cannot share this.
Share it. Okay, let me see it. I'll tell you if you can share it.
Show it, man.
Let me see it. I'll tell you if you can share it. Turn your laptop. Let me read it.
Yeah, don't send it to you.
I'm not live, so bring me your laptop.
I've closed it. It's gone.
How can you do that? You've got 500,000 people watching this.
It's better this way.
We'll never know. I'll get out of here, and I promise you I'll post it on Twitter. I promise you I will post this on Twitter. Just hold on a second. Guys, I'll be back in a second. I've got to see what's going on.
I did really close it.
What are you guys laughing at?
It's a news headline.
Oh my god, no, we can't show that. We can't show that. Is that what you guys are doing during the show? Is that really what you guys are doing during the show when you should be learning shit? Anyway, okay, let's get back to business because we can't show that. No ways. Woman paralyzed by what? Whew, okay, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about ETH layer 2s, which is the narrative for the third narrative for the month. Oh my God, that is so disgusting. For the month of December. The battle is, no, that's disgusting. Please focus, guys. People tuned in here for a crypto show. So the narrative is actually ETH layer 2, and there's a massive competition happening right now in ETH layer 2. We've been talking about it for a while. Matic has been out for a while. Nami has been out for a while, where we've said to you guys, we think that the narrative is ETH layer 2s. We spoke to you guys the other day about Boba network. Boba is a optimistic roll-up solution for Ethereum layer 2, and they've managed to solve the speed in a very, very, very interesting way. And remember with Boba, it was a free airdrop. So people got Boba as a free airdrop. And what do you do when you get a free airdrop? When the market comes down,
You dump it.
you dump it. Okay? So people are dumping their free airdrop, and this may be a good opportunity. James says, woman paralyzed by fundamentals. If only he knew what that thing said. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, focus, guys. We're supposed to do a show. Sheesh. Talking about ETH layer 2s and woman paralyzed. Focus. Okay, so Boba is a great layer 2. The narrative is all around ETH layer 2s. But then there's another battle that is happening in ETH layer 2s. And that is between ZK rollups and another ETH layer 2 narrative, which is called Stockware or Starknet. And you cannot buy a token for Starknet, but they launched their mainnet. And this has given rise to a whole lot of different platforms or different tokens that are launched on an ETH layer 2 solution. Some of the ETH layer 2 solutions that are launched on Starknet are things like DYDX, which is, I think it's one of the biggest DEXs out there today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So DYDX is one of the, if you go to Stockware, you can go look at their website. It is an ETH layer 2 scaling solution, which has managed to attract some of the smartest developer minds in the world. People like DYDX, SoRare, Immutable, all of these guys are building on this Stockware technology. And if you look at the volume that these projects are starting to deliver, it's projects like, let's have a look here. I think I had the stats for you. Let's have a look here. I think DYDX, I had DYDX. It took less than 6 months for DYDX layer 2 offerings to eclipse Coinbase in trading volumes. So that is just showing you how big the DYDX trading volumes are. Let's look at DYDX relative to Uniswap and to PancakeSwap. It's now the third biggest DEX in terms of revenue or in terms of transactions in the last 30 days. And so what you can see is that there's this ETH layer 2 narrative. And if you look at who's competing in this ETH layer 2 narrative, or who we're backing in this ETH layer 2 narrative, one of them is Boba Network. The other one is zkSwap. Then there's zkSync. And then you've got all these applications or all these dApps which are being built on Stockware. Now, there's not many ways for you to invest in Stockware. You can invest on Starknet, you can invest on DYDX, you can invest in SoRare, you can invest in Immutable. I did pick up one tweet though, and I'm going to show it to you guys quickly. Let me find that tweet, and then we'll decide. You see, Carl Davis said the majority of teams I meet are building on Solana, AVAX, or Stockware. So you can see that the brain power is migrating to this ETH layer 2 solution. Which one? Either zkSync or Stockware. I guess Stockware has a much better solution than zkSync. Luke, you did a whole lot of reading about the comparison between zkSync and Starknet. What did you get out of it?
Yeah, obviously teams are going to talk about their own product as being the best, but the Stockware guys reckon that zkSync have used a lot of their innovations, but built it in a way that is slower, less safe than Stockware itself. And you're seeing this come through by developers moving into this ecosystem and developing on Stockware. I think there are a lot of exciting projects incoming. It's one to watch.
No doubt that all the exciting development projects are all being built right now on Stockware. Immutable X being built on Stockware, DYDX being built on Stockware. So this is something that you need to be watching. And what I found for you guys was I found a little tweet here, and it comes from a token that we don't speak enough about, but it's the token's name is DeversiFi. And if you look at DeversiFi, what it says is avoid gas costs and frustration, saving you time and money with every trade and swap. DeFi should be open to everyone, not just whales. And they're saying huge congratulations to Stockware Limited for launching Starknet today. DeversiFi was the first project to launch on Starknet, and now we're going a stage further. We're building a portal to Starknet, Stockware Limited, the first permission decentralized ZK rollup portal. It won't be a bridge. It'll be a portal to the whole Starknet ecosystem. So what they are building, it sounds like, is a DEX or a portal to the whole Stockware ecosystem. Users will be able to create a portfolio, bridge funds, track investments, and explore each new app as it drops. Developers will be able to access all the tools that they need on Starknet. So this is a token that is actually trading on the market right now. The price is $17. The market cap is $113 million, and the fully diluted market cap is $1.6 billion. And this is potentially one of the ways to dip your toes if you want to start investing in this whole ETH layer 2 narrative, and specifically the Starknet ETH layer 2 narrative. There's no doubt that from a technological point of view, Starknet is the way to go. The only problem is that there's not a way for you to directly invest in it. There's no token for you to directly invest in it. So the best that you can do, in my opinion, is start to look for the DEXs or the portals that are building on top of it. And that's why I think that this one may actually be one that may be worth watching. Now, there is a caution that you should worry about. It was trading at $4. It's now trading at $17. And this happened in a matter of a couple of days. Okay? So watch out for that. You don't want to be buying the top. I then looked at the total value locked. And the total value lock has also doubled. So we've got to keep our eyes on the token. And if this thing takes a dip, then I think we all go in like apes and we just lap it all up. I think that is certainly what I'm going to be doing. The other one I said to you is, I think Boba, I'm going to keep buying it because I think people are just dumping their free tokens. There's going to be a time when all the guys that got free tokens are going to just let go of the free tokens. And then we're going to come in and we're just going to lap it up and lap it up and lap it up. All right, what else? Woman paralyzed. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay, oh, goodness. All right, the next narrative for December is, do I have another narrative for December? I mean, I can't have that many narratives. I guess one that we have to be looking at in December is Luna. I know we've spoken about Luna for many, many, many days now. We called it for you guys at $46, and we said get into it because we think that with the launch of the Astro DEX, what's called Astroport. With the launch of the Astroport DEX, it's going to bring Luna into top tier ecosystem territory because they're going to have a layer 1 incentivized DEX, and that goes live next week. Not only are there brilliant opportunities for you to stake money and get high yield returns in Astroport tokens, but also it's going to elevate Luna and it's going to take up all the projects on Luna. And for the last couple of days, we've spoken about the projects that we think are good. Now what you need to do is you need to be going back to listen to our shows and find out which Luna project you want to be investing in, because it is going to be a Luna December.
What do you think they're coming to market at?
No idea, but it's going to be really big. Fred's asking what valuation is Astroport coming to market. I think it's going to be huge, hugely elevated. Probably going to have a very low token supply, and it's going to shoot up the market cap because he's got Delphi Digital engineered the tokenomics. Just imagine how smart these tokenomics are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like ridiculous. You should try and get in. And how you get into this DEX is you just provide liquidity. So it's like a fair launch. You provide liquidity and you get tokens.
What, UST?
UST and Astro, UST and STT. They published an article. Orion. They would have to get liquidity for all of them. Alrighty, one more narrative that I think we should keep our eyes open for in December. And that is the narrative of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. If you don't know what a DAO is, effectively a DAO is a collective of people who come together and donate money or put money into this fund / DAO / account. And the money is managed by the decentralized autonomous organization, so by the vote of the token holders. So it's almost like a collective that decides to do these things in the name of the DAO. The big story around DAOs this month was Constitution DAO, who raised, was it $45 or $46 million to buy a copy of the American Constitution, or one of the original copies of the American Constitution. Their bid failed, and they ended up burning millions of dollars in gas fees because they did the DAO on Ethereum. Who does that? Who the fuck does that? It's a DAO on Ethereum. They should make, you know, that meme of that guy laughing. The guy, you know, that like Rosito.
Didn't that have something like 1.1?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let me do it for you quickly. Let me do it for you quickly. I'll show you.
It was $1.8 million in gas fees. $1.8 million in gas fees for Constitution, bro. They didn't even get it.
Hold on, I've got to see if I can find him. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with that Greek guy with a tooth, and he starts laughing. Here he is, this guy. Recitas, this guy.
Te llamo para que vaya a recoger las paelleras. Y me acuesto el sur.
And they
Allá
built a
para abrir el
DAO.
restaurante que era el arroz. Y me llama el
And they
cocinero.
built a DAO in
"Recita,
Ethereum.
¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que la boda
Why?
del
Because
café
Ethereum is the most
ya
used
están aquí".
blockchain.
Mira, el bañador.
And then they sent money to the DAO.
Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme
Started paying the
chancla
gas fees.
y el bañador. Voy a la playa y subió la
$1.3
marea.
million. People coming together, putting money to buy a constitution document, burning $1.3 million.
Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, del faro. Y cuando
Building it on Ethereum, they should have built it on Solana.
El cocinero con una paellera que adentro la vende paellera. ¡Asómate, mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea. ¿Y tú? ¡Ay, qué hacemos ahora con los dos sacos de arroz! ¡Ay, llama para Sevilla! ¡Llama a Sevilla que traigo!
I don't know what he's saying, but he's definitely talking about how dumb these people were to build a DAO on Ethereum. Okay, so that, yeah, we're going to talk about DAOs a lot in December. I think a DAO is, I think it is like an NFT. I think the concept is good. I think the use case for a DAO is something that is going to be unbelievable. But I think that people are getting themselves into the wrong DAOs. And I think people are going to start hopping from DAO to DAO to DAO. And there's a long way to go before these DAOs actually mature and we learn a lot about these DAOs. So for me, I would tread carefully when it comes to DAOs. There are a lot of these DAOs. There's a Klima DAO. Drive climate action and earn rewards with a carbon-backed algorithmic digital currency. You had this Olympus DAO, which was the big noise around Olympus DAO. There are going to be a lot of these DAOs, and I think December is going to be a month of DAOs. But like NFTs, I say to you, I think most of these DAOs ain't going to work. You're going to land up building a whole lot of you're going to land up burning a whole lot of gas fees, and I think you need to give that narrative time to mature before you put your money into DAOs. That is all my narratives for December. And that is me for today. I'm going to be back here actually later. Wow, I can't believe I've got to do another show today. It's going to be in the game. Remember, with Hustle, there's another show today in the game with Hustle. There's going to be a massive announcement on that show. Look at this. Look at these guys. I mean, this is completely unfair what's going on here. Look here. Let me show you something. I'm going to quickly put myself on the other screen for you guys so that you can see the Twitch guys. Look at, you see this little purple thing? It's the Twitch bots. All asking for MonkeyBall giveaways. Twitch bots, bro. It's just bots on Twitch. Unfair. Trying to steal prizes from YouTube viewers. Sure. Completely unfair. Completely unfair. All right, I will see you guys again later. How many likes do we have? Smash those likes.
7.4.
All right, 7.4 likes. We have to give away MonkeyBall. Can you guys find me a winner, but from YouTube, please? Come on, find me it must be one winner from YouTube.
No, it's literally only Twitch.
I found one.
Okay, so now Twitch doesn't win. They're going to change the rule.
Yeah, we'll change the rule. Twitch is, it's all bots.
Oh, there's one.
Okay. There we go. Ravnim. Ravna Mandan, you win. $100 worth of MonkeyBall. Guys, I will see you guys again later. I'm going to go and take my kids to a festival, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another show for you guys in the game with Hustle. I'm going to make a massive announcement on that show. So we'll see you guys again later. Until then, trade well, my friends.
No one can. Brand, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can.
You were saying shorter shows? Someone said shorter shows?
So if you actually want to know what it said, it was talking about